Do you want to hold that?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Ready?
Ready when you are.
Yeah, I think I'm... Cody here from Movie Losers
Go
back...
look.
What's that?
Do you want me to go look to see if you're...
Yeah. Look at it real quick.
Yeah, it's just like the very top of your head, like like your hair.
If I lean to one side...
Yeah. Like,
Oh, Infinity War! Alright.
oh, God.
Cody here from Movie Losers back with another... This review is going to be jam-packed full of spoilers, just like we're jam-packing into this frame. Just like Infinity War was jam-packed with all your favorite heroes from past movies, all 18 of them. So, we're going to start off with like 30 seconds of non-spoilers.
Right.
Really great movie.
Awesome movie.
Great movie for sure. I mean,
Perfect.
I'd
story.
say if you at least followed the Iron Man movies, the later Captain America movies,
Right.
and you've seen the Avengers, I think you can enjoy this movie for the most part. I don't think you even really need Doctor Strange or Spider-Man.
Right.
Maybe check out Guardians 1.
Guardians, yeah.
But the more you see, obviously, the more you'll enjoy it.
Right.
But I'd say go and see this anyway. It's a impactful experience.
Right. Very well directed. I felt like the Russo brothers did an amazing job. It was really a hard task to do. Fit this many characters in one movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did it just as well as you could. It's very fast-paced, I feel like. So when you get in there, you need to be buckled in and ready to go.
Yeah. It went faster for me the second time because I was anticipating the end so much the first time, but there's a lot in there. They made a movie as well as you can make it as far as like adapting this kind of storyline goes. So I'd go, well, we won't score yet, we'll wait till the end.
Okay.
But see it if you're interested in it for sure.
Yes. Go.
Breaking records this weekend, so let's get into some spoilers now. I guess let's maybe open with how the movie opened in our spoiler review. Kieran, just describe what happened essentially and what you felt.
For just the opening of the whole movie?
No, just the opening of the movie.
So, yeah, basically this movie picks up right after Thor Ragnarok, where they run into Thanos' ship, and when this movie comes in, it is super tense. You don't get the Marvel music intro or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just pure tense moments of just distress calls, and the Asgardian ship is blown up, and you just see really how terrifying Thanos is within the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, and I didn't think about this later on, but I guess half of their populace was killed off. There's like a one line that Thor says maybe to the Guardians, but I think Valkyrie and Korg and all of them maybe survived. But
it seems,
But yeah, regardless, right off the bat, Heimdall, if that's how you pronounce his name,
gone.
Stab, he got rid of Hulk. I thought that was pretty cool.
That Hulk scene, that fight between Thanos and Hulk, was just so intense. Like
you can just hear the pounding, Joe.
Yeah, man.
And it affects the movie later on because he beats the shit out of the Hulk so much. Like the Hulk does not want to come back out afterwards. So
Thanos is like allies were like, let him have his fun. And all of a sudden, like, shit, like he just like destroyed the Hulk. Basically.
Yeah, so the Black Order are introduced in this scene, and Ebony Maw is like the elderly statesman sounding kind of guy, but he has like telekinetic powers.
He's like a preacher, it felt like.
Yeah, and there's a big what's his Black Dwarf? No, that's what his
Obsidian
name is. The Black Obsidian.
Yeah, Dark Obsidian.
Yeah, yeah. In the comic, he was named Black Dwarf, but that was kind of I guess offensive. Well, not I guess it's a pretty offensive name.
Yeah.
So he was renamed. But then there's what's the girl?
Midnight Proxima.
Yeah, Proxima Midnight or something.
Proxima Midnight.
Right.
Yeah, Proxima Midnight.
I can't remember.
Like, is the other one like Corvus
Glaive. So they altered their, like, I'm only halfway through this, so I haven't finished it, but they're in, like, the newer Infinity storylines.
Yeah.
But I think they serve their purpose well. They're not given a ton of characterization other than Ebony Maw, but he was really interesting, especially in that New York fight.
Right.
So that's where the next part of the movie takes place, in New York.
Right. After Hulk crashes in,
Little intro with Tony, and there's, like, a bit of dialogue, like, I got the surgery to remove this, and I'm just, like, kind of catching you up on a little bit of all of his movies, and they're talking about him and Pepper having a child, and then bam, Doctor Strange shows up. Hulk, instead of Silver Surfer, crashed through his house, whatever that's called officially.
The Sanctorum.
Sanctorum. And yeah, that was pretty much straight out of this.
Yeah.
Again, the first half I read.
Right.
But Joe, we'll go to you next.
All right.
At this point in the movie, what are your thoughts? Are you locked in?
Oh, I was totally locked in. I mean,
you would be. I knew it.
Yeah, you knew it.
I was thinking that during the movie. I'm like, oh, Joe's fucking locked in right now.
Because even after, like, the whole Thanos Hulk and, like, with all the Asgardians, like, Thor, man, they got, like, right into it with the
giant-ass ship.
Yeah, the giant ship, you know, and, like, Doctor Strange,
excellent
Iron Man.
fight scene right there, right off the bat.
Like, Spider-Man comes in. That was cool, so...
His friend immediately panics.
Yeah, hey, cause a distraction.
I mean, just the way you have to move at a kind of a breakneck pace. Kelsey mentioned she thought it moved a little too fast.
Right.
But I think it has to be that way to keep your attention, especially for people that watch these movies over and over and over again. Because there's a lot of people that maybe have seen the Avengers again recently or this movie, that movie, but...
That's how Bree was. Bree kind of caught up here in the last couple weeks. So Bree, what would you say, like, pace-wise? Was that an issue for you as somebody who's probably watched, 6 to 7 of the Marvel movies?
I counted. I've seen 10.
Okay.
I haven't seen the Iron Man movies, the first 2 Thor movies, and Doctor Strange, and then the Hulk. But other than that, I've seen all of them.
But you felt like you could keep up with this movie based off of just seeing essentially...
The most, recent ones, I would say, seeing Guardians helped. Civil War definitely helped.
Civil War and Guardians maybe the most important.
Too.
Were you a little lost on the Doctor Strange side of things, or did you just kind of accept his magical...
I kind of knew to an extent that he was kind of like a magical wizard guy. Like, I didn't know who his, Asian friend was, but I was like, okay, I don't need to know who he is.
Yeah.
Long, you're invited to my wedding.
That was funny.
Yeah, a lot of the humor is very, very quick. I mean...
Very witty, yeah.
Easy to miss, so it's... Especially with Thor and Rocket and their dynamic, but...
Right.
Yeah, so, okay, after... We'll try to just maybe move through the film.
So, yeah, so basically So, Tony and Spider-Man, after Doctor Strange is kidnapped, because he has the time gem, Tony and Tony and Spider-Man go on the ship that he's kidnapped onto, which is going to Titan.
And I like when, just to backtrack a little, Thanos already has the power gem.
Right.
And he takes the time gem from Loki. Tesseract, yeah. Space Stone, yeah. I thought that was really heartbreaking, and Thor's Chris Hemsworth acting, and Loki's choked out. Again, not only are you establishing Thanos' dominance, but I felt that. I felt the weight of Loki's dead, and I felt it because their reactions.
Yeah.
Right. Loki.
Thor lost everything.
Loki had to know he was going for his death too, so he was sacrificed himself to try to kill.
I felt like that was the most terrifying scene of the whole movie. This movie's not scary by any means, but it was just a very eerie, terrifying feeling. Just the fact of the Hulk never been really beaten up like that, just decimated.
Yeah.
And then Loki, just the brutal way of
all the bodies on the floor.
The bodies, it's just.
It's like we opened up with a drowning pool video.
Right.
But the bodies hit the
floor. Nice. That's a nice little callback.
Hey, I've got him. Anyway, so Spider-Man tags along. They got the Iron Spider suit, which looks really cool. So they're off on their adventure to space, and then we cut to Guardians, right? With picking up Thor.
Yeah.
And they were well written here. Written and directed by the Russo brothers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's some other writer involved there.
There's some other writer, but I do know
that he had written Civil War, with all the movies they were part of, he wrote.
Right. And then I know for all the Guardian scenes, James Gunn was consulted as well.
Okay.
When you enter the Guardian scene, that they're singing a song, which seems very Guardian-esque, that was JamesGunn. He pretty much consulted them on that.
And they were picking up the distress signal, right?
Yeah. And believe it or not, this may have taken people out of it, but it's actually one of the funnier Marvel movies still, because there are a lot of jokes that land.
Nice. Sorry,
and
might be.
We have to start over. Toss it. No, don't toss it. We worked hard to get those. $20.
Yeah.
$20 to get our collectible cup, and let's pretend you're the cashier selling me the cup here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take my beverage, sir.
Okay. Here's your cup.
I wanted Thanos.
No, we don't have any more.
Piece of shit. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. I'm a paying customer.
I'll get you a manager.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And then we got a manager. We got the right cup. I wanted Spider-Man. That's sorry to ruin your 100% cotton shirt. It looks too tight for you. So we're okay. Where are we now? Guardians are on the ship. They pick up Thor. There's a nice little back and forth. He keeps calling Rocket.
You guys.
The Sweet Rabbit. Yeah.
Sweet Rabbit. That was great.
Their whole dynamic. They go off on a little adventure together to get Stormbreaker, a new weapon.
Right. That was sick.
Peter Dinklage. I thought that was rather funny. It may have. They didn't linger too long on that. It may have slowed down the pacing of the movie just a touch. Yeah. But when you see how Thor utilizes that hammer at the end,
right.
I think it's paid off.
Right.
So yeah, Peter Dinklage being like the biggest member of like really the whole team in the movie, I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Where are we at now?
So then, basically Thor, the group of Thor,
Nowhere,
Rocket, and Groot go to get the weapon, and then
the
other Guardians go to Nowhere.
Right.
But I think we transition back to
because Vision got his
Wanda and Vision
was attacked.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, we went back and their romance was
blossoming.
Yeah. Yes, if you will. Notice Paul Bettany, he was given a chance to be out of makeup in this movie, as was Mark Ruffalo a lot, which we'll talk more about that at the end of the review. But I like that again. Like they're getting right into it. We didn't see the Nova Corps get obliterated, but Thanos already had the stone.
Didn't need to see
again when we get to Nowhere with Thor, the Guardians,
right,
going after the Ether. Yeah. Thanos had already laid waste to it, and they did that little rug pull where he'd already destroyed it, and all that.
Right.
What did you think?
More is secret as well.
Yeah,
there was that.
There's almost so much to.
Right.
It's hard to stay on track.
Right.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good twist
fault,
of the Soul Stone because everybody kind of thought it was in Wakanda. That's the reason why they're fighting in Wakanda, the Soul Stone.
It's in
it was just like it was like kind of a twist. I never thought maybe Gamora had known this knowledge of where it was.
So Red Skull makes an appearance back.
Fucking blew me away.
Yeah. My god.
I thought it was the embodiment of death for a minute because the way the cloak was floating. But not played by Hugo Weaving actually. Played by Richard Marquand, who played that guy on Walking Dead.
Right.
Richard on Walking.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I don't remember. We don't watch that crap anymore. Anyway. As you can tell, so much goes on in this movie. It's hard to even get we're trying to wrap this review up fairly concisely, but let's go back to Cap's reveal. Now, he was my favorite Avenger, and I didn't really have a problem with him taking a step back in this movie because he's probably the Avenger, the main Avengers that gets the least amount of screen time.
Definitely.
Or character moments.
Definitely.
What'd you think of his reveal, the train, and him showing up?
Oh man, I thought it was pretty sweet.
Our audience clapped.
Yeah, he got the biggest pop of the night.
Definitely got the biggest pop of the night. It was awesome. I thought the whole fight scene between him and Black Widow and Falcon, it was completely very well choreographed. I loved it. I loved the throwing of the staff and the spears back between each other. It was great. I mean, you everybody loves Cap. You can't not like Cap.
Yeah, we were robbed of that Cap Tony moment. Oh yeah, point him out to the
here
fans.
The man.
That's him.
Evans.
Looks good in a beard.
Yeah, I like the new look.
Bree, who were you at this point, or in general? Who are you looking forward to? Their story going this way or that way? Who are you invested in the most in this movie? Where's your head at? And because again, a lot's thrown at you in this movie.
I think my favorite Avengers would be Iron Man and Thor. So Iron Man is doing his own thing. He's doing his Iron Man stuff. Mm-hmm. So I kind of liked seeing Thor in space, especially with Rocket, since he's my favorite Guardian.
Sure.
So they had some fun moments, and then further towards the end, we haven't gotten there yet. But when he comes in, makes his big entrance in the final battle scene.
Thor, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. With Rocket on his.
That was sick.
I think on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Groot there. Yes. That was cool.
That was that gave me complete goosebumps when that happened. Yeah. They had the Avengers theme behind him, and I was just like...
Well, for years, Thor was, kind of...
Oh, definitely, on the back burner of the group. Kind of the forgotten member.
Even Chris Hemsworth is kind of getting tired of the role, and then they kind of this last, year and a half really reinvented
Really, Taika Waititi.
The Marvel Cinematic, because like we get Doctor Strange in late 2016. We get Guardians 2. Well, that didn't really have too much to it, but Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because man, people love Tom Holland as Spider-Man for good reason. He performed incredibly in this film here. But then we also had Thor Ragnarok.
Boom.
Yeah.
So like massive movies and we really focused a lot on Thor in this, and as
Black
you said,
Panther.
Iron Man. Black Panther, of course, which, other than Wakanda being the setting, kind of took a backseat as well in this.
Definitely.
But still, so yeah, essentially at the end, we have a fight on two fronts, and when I was in the moment, Doctor Strange, he has like some really cool that choreography on the fight against Thanos on Titan.
Yeah.
Was really awesome, and
great
like
visuals.
And it, like throughout the whole, his whole motive is like clearly understood. I thought, like, I'm on board. The CGI looks really great on him, especially. Maybe probably the best villain.
Who Thanos? Oh,
that we've had.
Oh, definitely.
Other than Killmonger or Loki.
Yeah.
I think that you have this battle on two fronts. I'm so involved, like and invested in the story. I'm like not thinking Doctor Strange saw this outcome. He knew he had to give the time stone away.
Right. I was the same.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna have a moment of
Tony got stabbed.
Yeah. Which that left the theater silent for a time. I was like, oh shit, is he really?
Yeah, is he the one? You know that.
I could have seen it. I could have seen it happen.
Right.
Everyone's, I feel like, predictions were wrong on how like who died and who lived, but so he gets stabbed. So Doctor Strange seemingly is, he says, "I'll give you the stone if you spare his life." Thanos gets the stone, leaves. Before that, Chris Pratt they were trying to get the gauntlet off, and a lot of people had an issue with.
I did have an issue with
he had emotionally reacted and ruined their plan.
I didn't have an issue with his emotions because I felt like that's not totally out of character for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, man, I guess we'll maybe get to it at the end. I was like, okay, if you're gonna make that, there has to be repercussions.
Because Gamora died.
Get your ass.
All right, sit your ass down. We're not done.
Where you belong.
All right, so the camera cut off, and we were talking about Wakanda, their fight.
Right. You were talking about
at the end.
Lingered, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't linger too long on that end fight. There was a lot of huge ass explosions from War Machine dropping his bombs. Cap and Black Panther, I love that they ran out.
Oh, it was great.
First, and were leading their team.
Juiced to the
when Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Okoye were fighting Proxima Midnight 3-on-1. Okoye had that great line where she's like, she was up there this whole time.
Yeah,
right.
Loved it. So like, Wakanda got a little, and I so badly wanted. I was expecting a comedic beat to, how they played like that awesome like rap song when Killmonger was like walking to the throne, and really throughout Black Panther there's like awesome music played like that we hadn't seen in like the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
I thought because you heard like themes of every hero throughout intermixed with the Avengers theme, I thought we were gonna have like it uses a comedic beat, like I don't know, like Winter Soldier, Captain walking to like some like really badass rap music, which could have been fun.
Yeah.
But no, they get right into the battle, don't linger on it too long, and actually Cap does have a good line where Groot's like stabbing people, and he's like, "I'm Groot," and he's like, "I'm Steve Rogers."
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Which that was one of the funny moments for me.
I like the little quip between Thor and Steve where there's like, "You cut your hair." He's like, "I see you like my beard," or something like that, and he's just like,
There was enough of that there to again keep that same Marvel style as far as the humor goes, but I felt the weight of all these big decisions in this movie. It's Thanos is certainly to be feared. I guess we can jump. Anything else you all want to mention before we jump to the end game, as Doctor Strange called it?
In that battle, they were kind of getting like overwhelmed, and then like Thor came in, which was awesome, and just kind of like gave him that lift. It was let's go.
Definitely liked the little scene there with Rocket and Bucky, where he picks them up and they're just spinning,
circling around. Great. Yeah, so you get a little bit of that flavor of all these team ups you had hoped for. Maybe not. I mean, obviously a lot of people were wanting Tony and Cap to come back together, but we'll probably see that in the next one.
Definitely.
But yeah, let's jump to the end game.
Let's do it.
So Bree, we'll start with you. when Thor comes in, Thanos, okay, he left Titan, has all the stones, comes in, immediately takes it from Vision. Vision's dead, puts it on. We'll start there with your thoughts. What are you thinking when Thor comes in, stabs him? What are your thoughts?
Well, I was like, he's not gonna be killed because that doesn't seem like something that would happen to Thanos. I thought it was rough.
That easily?
Yeah. When Vision was killed twice, that was unfortunate for him.
Yeah. That is rough.
That was sad. And then, you start to have people float away. And
sure.
That was rough.
I think the whole theater, and they did the smart thing by taking out the music in those moments. It was just like the rustling of the wind, or like right now we're hearing
birds chirp.
Some birds chirp and some
beautiful
light breeze come through.
I will say though, as somebody who's read the comic, I was wondering the whole time. I was like, are they going to do the snap?
You read all halves of this.
I read everything.
I'm only half in. Joe, you're like what, a page in?
Right. Yeah, a page or two.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, were they going to do the snap? Did they have the balls to do it?
Mm-hmm. I'm a slow reader.
And when Thor hit him with the axe, I was like, oh, like. I was like, yeah, man.
Are they really gonna kill him that easy?
We were that close to getting the snap. We were that close, and then for him to say the great line of "You should have gone for the head."
Yeah.
I was like, no. I was like,
and the snap.
I about lost my shit. I was like, they did that shit. They fucking did that shit. That
so great. For me, I'm sitting there and I think Bucky's the first to go, and I'm like,
yeah,
Steve.
Yeah, and all of a sudden just dissolved.
In my mind, I'm like Voldemort and Deathly Hallows Part 2.
That's exactly what it looked like. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Which I didn't like back then for that particular movie.
Okay.
But I liked that for this because with Voldemort, that's just one person that happened to, the ultimate evil. Here, it's our heroes, and there's so many of them. It's a perfect way for you to like see the confusion and fear in their eyes, and then have the other heroes react to it.
Right.
So when Bucky went, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's happening. And then
not like this.
You start seeing like, then I'm like, Okoye's with Black Panther. I'm like, oh, Okoye's gonna go. Nope. T'Challa himself, the king. I'm like, oh shit.
That.
See, in the moment, it's very easy afterwards to be like, okay, they're gonna bring him back.
Black Panther 2.
But in the moment, I was just like, oh shit, like, Black Panther. Wait, what? Huh?
Yeah.
They just did that.
I mean, but that's movies. Like, anybody can be cynical about it and be like, well, they're gonna do this and bring him back and blah blah blah. It's like, one, that's comic books. Two, that's like any movie ever. It's not real. It's like you get into it because it's so well written, so well performed. Mm-hmm. You're involved in the story. You're invested. And once he went, I'm like, oh shit, like. And the whole movie, really, you're thinking, at least I was, anybody could go at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the way they opened the movie with killing Loki and Heimdall. But once Groot was going and Rocket was like really heartbroken, that's when like the tears were welling. And then once Spider-Man went,
that was tough.
That's when I like was literally crying in the theater, like like a little baby.
Yeah, you want Spider-Man?
Man.
He was I'll trade here.
Okay.
He was just a kid, like scared kid saying I don't like. I don't want to go.
Tony, like, oh man,
I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Like pleading, like scared, crying for his life, and then
he kind of toughened up at the end because he felt like he had to be the man, like the superhero.
Right. Said I'm sorry, and then like disappeared.
And it felt like he dissolved like so slowly too.
And the whole time Tony's just like, just like out of it, like just the effect of seeing this. I mean, only adding to a lot of people thought Iron Man may die in this movie, but that only furthers him as a character, just the weight of it all. And not to like go on a tangent for the current kind of point I'm on right now, but Thor earlier in the film had like a nice little beat where he's like, they use it as a joke at first, where he's like comforting, I think, Gamora, where he's like, my sister returned and she was evil and
families
could kill her and families could be tough. But he's like, my brother's dead, my father's dead, Asgard's gone, like what more do I have to lose?
Right.
My girlfriend broke up with me.
Losing Natalie Portman, that's the toughest part of his life.
Yeah.
But just like seeing it was they did well to end with the Spider-Man, like that being like the climax of the sadness, because that just like I think broke the entire theater.
Yeah, definitely.
Seeing him go.
It was. I loved like the aftermath of it. Everybody was just like, nobody was like, all right, let's get up and let's go find Thanos. Everybody was just like, what do we do now? Where did Thanos go? Where?
And he smiles. He's on, I guess maybe. I don't know what planet that was. Maybe Gamora's old planet or something. But he's on a planet. He's watching the sunrise. He smiles. The movie ends.
Fade and goes to black. Yeah.
Quiet. I think there's like a piano outro there. So Alan Silvestri really did a great job with the music in this, and lack thereof in moments. But they did the snap. I mean, that's the one thing I think you have to nail for this villain. Anyway, I thought it was gonna happen, but again, I was so into the movie, the story they were telling, I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
So this movie throws you a lot of surprises in the best way, and a lot of tough ways.
Yeah.
Making us anticipate next year's finale even more. Next May 2019.
Crazy.
So, I guess we'll end with some maybe final thoughts. We'll wrap up this review. We'll get into we're gonna do a podcast, comic losers and movie losers, going more into depth, and this movie's gonna be making bank. So see it. We can definitely send you to the theater. Last thoughts, and we'll score it.
I thought it was a great movie. As someone who doesn't really like superhero movies that much, easily one of my favorite Marvel movies, other than Black Panther, which they're both up there pretty high. One thing that we didn't talk about is like the very last thing you see is like they have the name of the movie, and then it has the little fadey whatever pieces that is. I thought that was a nice way.
Well, that's some style because it opened like with the big Avengers Infinity War crawling in at the end. It's like a quiet piano.
Right.
It's black and white Avengers Infinity War. Then it fades away, just like the characters. Oh, we haven't yet. We can do that after we score it.
Okay, fair enough. I absolutely love this movie. It's very hard to find really anything wrong with this movie. If you're a Marvel fan, a comic book fan of really any kind, it's so hard to hate on this movie. It's so hard to find anything wrong with it. So definitely go see it. Can't say anything more. Go see this shit.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was amazing. Easily 5 out of 5. Perfect score. Yeah.
Wow, Joe's the first one to actually give a number to it.
Right.
There you go.
He taking the lead.
You've learned well.
Learn from the master.
It's a 5 out of 5 for me as well. Sir?
5. How could you
don't just nod and pat and...
I was...
Do you need to cry again? Go have a good cry.
And talking about it just makes me want to cry.
It's a 5 for me, dog.
Thanks, homie.
And... Jackson?
Yes. That was my Randy Jackson.
It's 5 dogs.
Go check out Avengers Infinity War and let us know what you think about it in the comments below. And listen to the podcasts when we put them up sometime this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Probably, yeah.
Bye.
Oh, okay.
We do that now. So we didn't talk about the after credit scene?
Oh yeah. Wait!
Don't go!
Don't hang up!
Don't
go!
Credits
real quick and then we'll come back and talk about the after credit scene.
So, by the way, it's all there's only one at the very, very end. I like that they make you sit through the credits. Like, well, first of all, you got to recover, but you know these people that work on the effects and everything, they deserve the praise and the time. But so all one continuous shot. We start with Sam Jackson and Maria Hill in the SUV. Car stops in front of them. That's after the snap. Half the population's gone. You get out. Camera pans. Helicopter into a building.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Maria disappears.
Yep.
Sam Jackson is like, oh crap! Like quickly, goes back to his little bag.
Right.
Gets a pager.
Yeah, which is important. I feel like.
And as he's fading, he's like, mother.
Yeah, mother.
I wish they would have kept the fucker part in there. Because of PG-13, I imagine it's PG-13.
It was.
You can have one F-bomb. Or maybe 2. I wish they would have kept it. But
there was a lot of cursing in this movie, though. A lot of
I'm just numb to it, I guess.
And there was a finger.
Yeah, there's a finger. There's assholes, dipshit.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm protecting your reality, dipshit or douchebag.
Yeah,
that's what Doctor Strange says to Tony. But so Sam Jackson fades away, gets the signal for help sent to Captain Marvel. So now you got to see that movie in March, I guess.
Yep. March, literally like 2 months before, apparently Avengers 4. So should lead right into it. Perfect.
I thought it was perfect.
Perfect.
Because now we didn't want anything really like, imagine Tony coming and regrouping with I think that would have made the ending less effective. Now we're gonna not only hype Captain Marvel. We're also going to hype Avengers 4. So, all right, let's end it.
That's it.
That's our thing now.
Okay.
Okay.
We salute.
All right, get out of the way.
Ah!